but let's go ahead to do now. All right, so I was telling about that how do I transition from my background, which was mostly into the wireless, into Salesforce, and become really sort of successful and feel it give me a lot of liberty, it give me a lot of freedom. It let me choose the companies that I want to work. It gives me an opportunity to actually go back into teaching that I used to love a long time back, training, involved with the people, involved with nonprofits, which is one of my passions. So even right now, at least 5 to 10 nonprofits I work all the time in parallel, helping them doing their digital transformations, working with women, training them, helping them to get into the technology, and other minorities and other able folks who are basically struggling maybe financially or otherwise. And I feel like the Salesforce was a really good platform to learn. And the best part is it not necessarily require a lot of background in IT to start off. But again, if you want to really proceed and get to a very next level, obviously you go through a lot of different trainings and learnings, and eventually you can become even architect if you want to. It's totally depend upon how much passionate you are about it. So today, setting up this session again, today is mostly our introduction session. So I will introduce you what is Salesforce, what does it really mean, how do you focus, how do you get in, and then the real object of this whole session and this program is how to enable you guys to actually find a job. And if you're already in the job, then how you can excel in your current position. So this is not only program for somebody who is just joining in the Salesforce for the first time, but this is also a program for professionals who are working in the Salesforce, for example, between 1 to 5 years. In the mid range, I'm calling them professionals, and they want to excel to the next level, maybe want to become team leads, want to become architects. And then the third area of the actual experts who are already working in Salesforce for a number of years, they're working as senior developers, architects, and how they can move further, because everybody has a bandwidth to move forward in that. So basically, this program will cover a whole suite of different levels based upon where you are. So anywhere from starting, don't know about Salesforce, maybe this is your first session ever taking into Salesforce, to somebody who is in the Salesforce platform, have multiple certifications, already working on a well recognized organization, but still they feel like there's more out there and how they can get to the next stage. Also, I'm working with a lot of Salesforce partners in US and Canada, where I will be helping these guys to be placed. So the reason why I want to do that firsthand is because there are a lot of issues with trainings. There's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of people discourage, and they give you, they may give you right or wrong information, which always confuses. So at least I want to give my experience, that how you can able to be very successful in this particular niche and what you need to do. So that is the main goal, to enable you from 0 to 360, from somebody who is brand new to Salesforce and all the way up to a very experienced person. And along the way, we will be basically going through the way I will be doing. Again, I'm not going to do it by myself. So as you can see that I already have Sana, I have Sobia, and there are a lot of other architects, senior engineers, Salesforce on my back, MuleSoft on my back. They will be supporting me. So it's just not going to be me who is going through a training course step by step, and that's it, and you are done. Basically, this course is start where every other training course ends. So you basically go through the training, and basically your training course ends. Maybe they gave you a little bit of, okay, you can apply to the jobs or you can apply to here, but this course is basically starts from their point onwards. So I will guide you how do you need to get from that points all the way up to a successful Salesforce or MuleSoft consultant, as well as at the same time, if you are already into the Salesforce, how you can grow, how you can get better clouds, how you can understand the new technologies which are coming in, how to get to clouds which are more AI focused, how to get to a clouds which Salesforce just acquired and they are integrating, because some of those are very advanced. How to get into, maybe if you want to get into a certain vertical, you want to work on a health cloud, maybe you want to work on a financial cloud, how to do that, what would be the path, how would you do more networking, because knowing people is the key to start in any professional. This is not 20 years back where you can just send a resume and apply. Most of the jobs that people are getting through LinkedIn. Do you have your your presence on LinkedIn. Do people know you? Are you connected to the right people? Are you focused in the area? So Salesforce, again, I just want to get into that in a little bit, but Salesforce is basically a pretty big area that you can cover, and that's what we're going to talk about. Within Salesforce, there are different areas that you can focus, and within those focus areas, you can become really highly expert, and that will help you to really get the traction that you're looking for. A lot of folks will have a lot of similar questions like, I don't have a certification, how I can get certified? Very basic question, I will answer that. A lot of people say, I already have certification, I've been struggling to find a job for some time, how can I get the job? Some of those people might say, I'm already in the Salesforce, I've been working for a couple of years, but I'm kind of stuck in my role, I've been developer for a while, and it's good, it's paying the bills, but how can I move forward? How can I go to the next level? So all of these questions we will be answering, and also directly connecting these resources which that we will extract from this program and connect them to Salesforce and MuleSoft partners who are like platinum partners, gold partners. I already receive lot of connection and a lot of information from different partners that they are really interested in this program. So just to give you an idea that this program is not merely a training, it's basically a full scope 360 program where you can able to land a job, and if you have a job, then how you can grow in your particular area. So with that, let me quickly share my screen, and I just want to make sure that I'm keeping track of time as well. So let me quickly share my screen here. If somebody can confirm that you can able to see my PowerPoint.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get into the program. So before I start, just to give you an idea, because the first question that came to my mind when I was switching to Salesforce, that if I learn this thing, I spend this much time and energy and money, taking time away from my family, taking time away from my other activities. Does it gonna last me, right? Because I already invested so much into my initial career. I did my master's, I did my bachelor's, I did my internships, I go through a lot. And after a certain time, I was able to become a more secured in my thing. And now all of a sudden, I want to jump into a brand new career. So what are the prospects? Where do I see in like next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Is this something which is sort of a bubble? It might have a lot of jobs today, but down the line, it might fade off or something like that. So obviously, when you start a career, or even if you are in the career, if you have doubts, so just to be clear that we understand how does Salesforce ecosystem works. What does it mean? What are the verticals does it cover? What are the areas does it cover? What are the roles that you can play your part? And again, keep in mind, none of those roles are permanent. You can start with a role, you can become B, you can become C, you can become D. So I just want to make sure you understand the flexibility that you have, that you can able to nurture your skills, you can able to move from one stage to the next stage to the next stage, right? So like how I did, I started pretty much fresh in Salesforce after the 13 plus years of experience, but within like 4 or 5 years, I actually even when I started, I actually get a better position with my previous one. But in order to do that, I prepared myself, I invested, I spent like a year on that. So when I did that, I start looking into the future. So right now, you can search, you can Google Salesforce, you can go to different articles, you can go to the Dreamforce, and you can see that right now they are saying that 9.3 million jobs right now will be created. Will be created in Salesforce economy in the next 5 years, which is huge. And then these are not including the MuleSoft position, which will another 500,000 to million jobs. So together they will be above 10 million jobs between the two platforms that they can share. Now, just to understand where are these jobs coming from? If I'm saying that there are 9 to 10 million jobs, that's a lot of jobs in a particular cloud. What are these guys really doing? What is actually Salesforce? So from that perspective, let's really understand what is Salesforce, and then I'll jump back into what is this program about and what are the other things we'll cover. So first of all, Salesforce, the way it started is just started as a word sales and then force. So I know a lot of people when they hear this sales word first, like when I introduce a lot of people, hey, I work in Salesforce or for Salesforce, they're like, oh, maybe you're doing something related to sales. Are you a sales rep? Are you a sales AE? Things like that. So a lot of these questions who do not know Salesforce, they actually asked me. Now things are getting much better. A lot of people already know about Salesforce, so you don't need to explain yourself what exactly Salesforce does. But the name actually comes from the fact that the first cloud that they launched was Salesforce sales. So they launch a sales cloud, which means that they pick up a sales process, which means that any organization, when they are working with the clients, they pick up a customer, they need to put that as a lead, then that lead will convert it into an opportunity, and that opportunity will basically close. Either you have that customer close win, or they might close loss, right? So this small cycle of sales, they come up with the idea that we can put all of that into the cloud. Back in the days when Salesforce started, most of the not most, all of the applications were on premise, which means that they were not cloud bound. Now you are very familiar with that. Everybody has their own clouds as well. But 20 years back, Salesforce come up with this idea that you don't need to have your on premise machines and things of that sort, but you can just use Salesforce Cloud. You will just have a browser. You can log in with your user ID password, and you're good to go. You don't need to maintain any hardware. You don't need to maintain any software, no patches, no servers, no IT big team, nothing. We'll take care of everything. All you need to do is just to pay a flat fee per user per month and just use it and expand and basically expand as much as you want. You can start with on a small level and go all the way up. So that's why they sort of named us Salesforce, because it started with the sales cloud. But then this was just a one particular business case, which means that how the sales process worked. From that point onwards, when they go into the sales, they understand that, okay, now we are good at it, we start selling it. But the organizations, once you sell a product, then you also need to provide servicing facility, like where you can able to, let's say you sold a car, then you also gave 3-year warranty. So when they're coming back after a month or two for some servicing, how do you manage that? Obviously they might be using different applications at that point in time, which is, again, you have Salesforce and you have another application which is doing that. So again, Salesforce said, okay, let's go ahead and create a service cloud, connect with the sales, so you don't need to go to another application, and you can get like a single view. Sure, they go sales cloud, then they go into, they also recognize, like step by step, they recognize, okay, now you have a different process for community. Like a lot of people are logging in. How about if we can connect everybody and they can able to see all the services? Then they come up with a community cloud. Say same thing with the health cloud. They have a different business process. So they convert. So all of them, basically the Salesforce platform is very like it's actually a platform, it's a PaaS, but they created a SaaS, which is like a software as a service on top of it, and based on different vertical business cases. So for example, your business case for the health cloud, which is your insurance company, is very different than your bank. How do they operate? How do they give loans? And how do they manage your account? So very different business processes. So obviously the same SaaS, the solution will not work for two different verticals. So what they did is, okay, you can have your financial cloud, and then here's your health cloud. So both of them basically follow the same ingredients. So as a Salesforce consultant, they still have the very same ingredients, very same components, but how you put them together to create a process is slightly different. And maybe some add-ons based on the different features. But in general, they all look very similar. They have the same. If you really open up the hood and see what they are built of, they are kind of very similar, because it's, at the end of the day, it's all Salesforce platform. And then you build on top of it. So which means that technically there is no boundaries for Salesforce. So that's why you see Salesforce being utilized by small business. Then you have nonprofits. Then you have mid-sized businesses. Then you have enterprise level clients. When I say enterprise level, we are talking about Amazons. We are talking about IBMs. We are talking about really, really big organizations themselves who has hundreds and maybe millions of customers. Where do they stare? Where do they store their data? In Salesforce. How do they service them? Through Salesforce. How do they market their products? Through Salesforce. And then we are talking about now like a whole new area, which is, and there are multiple new areas, but whole new area about the e-commerce platform. So for example, you have Amazons, you have different products, you have Sephora, you have these big products who are coming up with their clouds, how to manage that. So typically, or traditionally, they used to have built on a different platforms, starting anywhere from as simple as WordPress all the way up to like a Java based or other language based. But now they realize that it's too much custom coding, it takes too much time, sometimes it takes years, and if you need to make changes it's just too cumbersome. So Salesforce give you a platform where it can get ready go in like very limited time, and then changes and upgrades are very fast. You can actually able to utilize a lot of things together. So now we have something called Salesforce Commerce Cloud, like a big area. Just Salesforce Commerce Cloud has their own 4 certifications. So if you go into the Commerce Cloud, you don't need to do anything else. You are just Salesforce Commerce Cloud consultant. They have their own 4 certifications, and you just need to focus on that area. Amazing area, enhancing like crazy. All of these big organizations, big retail who are going online, they are now building their their front end platform on Salesforce, and this is huge. Then Salesforce have a lot of AI that goes along with that. It's just mind boggling. Similarly, another area that I want to focus is the Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud itself has their 4 or 5 certifications. So within that, you have a Marketing Cloud admin, you have Marketing Cloud email specialist, you have Marketing Cloud other. So it's like 4 different, like Marketing Cloud developer, Marketing Cloud consultant. So there are so many areas that are within Salesforce are so detailed that you can just pick one of the area that you have maybe some background, or maybe the area that you really like to flourish, and then you can go in there. So that's where, for example, Marketing Cloud, again, it's like its own area, so much stuff in there that you can able to just become a Marketing Cloud consultant. Hands down right now is like one of the most desired consulting positions. Same thing with CPQ is something like now, if you are a big organization like a Caterpillar who sells thousands of different products to thousands of customers, how do they manage all of these billings and quotes, and you have different yearly plans. So imagine like somebody as big as like Caterpillar and other big organizations, or Boeing's, or these organizations, and go all the way down to like a small mid-level, small level organizations who are selling like hundreds of products. They have hundreds of variations, they have hundreds of options that you can select. Then you have different discounts and all that. So it just becomes so much complicated. So traditionally, again, they were managed by different clouds or different applications. Again, they are not as robust, they are not connected. So at the end of the day, the Salesforce will create all of these things under one roof and give you that 360, that you can start from doing your sales to service to Commerce Cloud to marketing to, if you have like a code process, and then go all the way to the lead. So when Salesforce says this 360 thing, that means that you can have all your different business process under same Salesforce umbrella. And then you can connect different applications. For example, there are applications which are connected or talking to the government applications, or some other applications which are prematurely built. Then we come into the MuleSoft. We'll talk a little bit about MuleSoft in a bit, but basically, how do you connect these applications? Again, there are different ways you can connect it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, but then Salesforce actually acquired MuleSoft a couple of years back, because they foresee that if you want to work in a Salesforce and you want to give this 360, then we need to connect to the other systems. So for example, if you're a bank and you use an application to run a credit, which is sitting on another SAP application, how do you connect these two together? So again, you probably need to switch off, you log in into the SAP and you run it, and then you say, take the information, manually put it back. How about if you are in Salesforce, you click a button, you get the response, both systems are updated, you're good to go. So it will save time, it will take a lot of manual work, it will be speed up the process. Cool. So now we are talking about now connecting different system. Salesforce system, within them they don't need anything, they can just connect very seamlessly, no problem. But now we can able to connect with different system. Think about a government, let's say US government, a particular area, they may are using like 30, 40 different applications, right? They are all sitting on different servers, a lot of different type of applications. How do you bring or close all the loop and connect it in one location, that you can able to update one information in one application where it will be updated everywhere else rather than going manually. Salesforce can do that via connecting through MuleSoft. So again, this is, I cannot explain everything. It's a short session, but again, I can talk hours and hours and hours on that how detailed this thing. And the main idea to give you is it is covering pretty much all the verticals. As soon as you have a customer, you have to sell them, you have to service them, you have to connect them, you have your e-commerce, you have your coach, you have your health cloud. So all of this will basically cover pretty much a majority amount of different verticals, which means that you may be today working in a banking sector, a couple of years down the road you're working in a health sector, maybe you can work back into telecommunication. So I am from telecommunication. I actually go back and actually now working on telecommunication because I have all the SME knowledge, and now I can build systems for them on Salesforce because I already know all that background. It will be much easier for me. I now understand Salesforce. At the same time, I understand the particular domain. So put it together and you become like indispensable. So a lot of you guys may have expertise in sales, maybe marketing, maybe other areas. And imagine if you have now Salesforce knowledge, which your company or other company needs, both of them together will be like a really, really good combo. That's where you can able to really give up the value. So if you only have Salesforce knowledge, but not the domain knowledge is one thing. You have a domain knowledge, now you learn Salesforce and you put it together. That's something that you will be very, very desirable in that particular area. So wrapping that up over and coming back to our program again, that what we're gonna cover in that. I see a lot of other more people have joined, so just kind of a repetition. So I'm gonna calling this program as Salesforce MuleSoft Consultant Enablement Program, MCSEP, which means that basically we're going to help you all the way through. So how Salesforce says 360, I'm going to be my program like 360, meaning you can start from any of those 360 points and then you will complete the cycle, and then we go and progress further and further into that. So this is our program kickoff today, where I'm just kind of introducing you to myself, the program, what we are trying to do here. And then we will have more independent sessions. So basically what I'm going to do is I will produce two separate streams from this program, which means that I will have a stream where people are working on a Salesforce certifications, or I have a separate stream where people are working on a MuleSoft. And I'm going to talk about both of them, but you need to pick one or the other. Unless you already have a Salesforce and you want to become MuleSoft, that's fine. But if you don't have either of them, then most probably you'll be starting from the Salesforce side, or you can also start from the MuleSoft side if you have certain prereqs. So we'll talk about the prereqs in a second. The third item, which I really want to emphasize, is there are main three categories of this program. So what are those three categories? And I'm sure everybody will fit into one of these categories. So the number one category we have here is called learners, which means that you could be a fresh person or you could be a person working in a different domain. But from Salesforce perspective, you don't have no certification and you have no experience in Salesforce, right? So it has to be in Salesforce. You could have other experiences, but basically you have none in Salesforce. So you are still in sort of a learning phase or learning level. Then we have professionals who are working in Salesforce. They may have one or more certifications. They do have experience, but they are not really on a senior role. So they might be a junior developer, or they might be an admin. They might be a business analyst. They might be, QA, but they are not to a senior level. They're not in the lead level, and they want to grow, maybe learn a little bit more, or maybe they are struggling to actually get a job. So they do have certifications. They may not have Salesforce experience, but other experience, and what they want is just to land on a job, so that you may get into a professional level where you have professional background, you have certifications, but you just need to get to a position. Then we have expert level, where we are talking about different expert people who are there. They are earning well, they are working in a good organization, but they want to move forward. Everybody can move forward. You don't have to stop anywhere. If you're an architect, maybe learn to get 2x architect. If you're 2x architect, you can become 3x architect. If you are architect, how about let's focus on becoming a CTA, which is the highest degree. If you are CTA, how about opening up your own Salesforce partnership? How about opening up a training? How about whatever is the next level? I want you to think the next level, because I that's what I do for myself, and I want all my friends and people who are joining this program to think of themselves. Because once you stop, you don't stop, you actually start moving backwards, right? Because everything is moving, time is moving. So stopping means you're not stopping there, you're not stabilizing there, you're basically started moving backwards. So you are going negative. So unless you are moving forward, it's upon your pace. You can be slow, fast, whatever you want, it's up to your choice, but you need to move forward, right? Then so you can decide yourself which of these levels you are. And then what will happen is I'll guide you a lot of trainings. Again, I'm not in a favor anymore of doing the spoon feeding. That time is gone long time back. So you need to learn, and one of the main purpose of this course is push people to learn yourself. We have extensive training modules available in Salesforce, in MuleSoft. Nobody has to sit with you and spoon feed you those things. You should be able to do that, because in Salesforce, MuleSoft, these things are not constant. Every 3 months, they have a new release. Every year, they have new modules. Every year, they have new clouds. Nobody's gonna sit, or you're not gonna get in training from ABC or XYZ every year, every 3 months. Okay, can you teach me now Marketing Cloud? Can you teach me this? No, you need to learn this point onwards. And I'm sure most of you already in that area where you are learning a lot of things on your own. But if you're not, this is a great opportunity to get into the mode. It might be a little bit overwhelming in the beginning, but we are here to help you. It's just not me, it's going to be a lot of people helping, working together. So what you need to do, I'll give you the locations. I'll show you actually in this session today how you can get to that, both MuleSoft and Salesforce, where to start. And then what we will do is basically I build a community. So we are not going to tell you something and we'll just disappear. No, I'm going to create a Slack. And again, Slack is bought by who? Salesforce. So we are still in the system, right? We just bought, Salesforce just bought. And when I say we, is like I feel like Salesforce part of my family now. So I used to work for them. I'm their partner now. So I just Salesforce all 360, right? So Salesforce is a Slack, and Slack is now integrating in Salesforce. It's gonna be the future of working, right? They bought it for what, $26 billion, one of the biggest acquisitions in the past. I would say like 10 years, right? It's like big, it's huge. And again, the reason why they have is they want to build this whole. So now when you talk about like businesses, they used to think about buildings and offices and this will be, Slack is your new office, Slack is your new organizations. For a lot of different high-tech industry already switched to that. I work with a lot of organizations on a daily basis, and I would say 50% of them already using Slack in some shape or form. So eventually you will be, Slack will be your office, right? So we will be connected via Slack. We'll create two different groups. Like we will have like a Salesforce group and MuleSoft group, and then you can create your own groups within that. If you are familiar with Slack, you know how much cool it is, and you can have your own smaller groups if you want, study groups, whatever. And then I will set up these kind of sessions on a global level on every 2 weeks. So that's where we come together. We'll discuss about the next steps if you're done. And then what I'm going to help is basically take you, okay, are you done with the course? Okay, what's the next step? How to get the certification, right? How to prepare for the certification. So maybe the next session would be for prepare certification on a particular area, like maybe admin, maybe MuleSoft, maybe any other cloud. Next session will be, okay, we have a couple of certified folks within our group, how to help them build their LinkedIn, how to help them build their portfolio, maybe put them on a internship positions, right? How we can pitch them. So as I said, I'm working with a lot of Salesforce Gold, Silver, Platinum partners, so we can connect with them. I already got a lot of requests that, hey, as soon as you have your folks ready, we are ready to intake as a whatever level they are. So you can go as an intern, you can go as a junior, you can go as a senior, you can go as an architect, whatever level you are, because as I said, it's not just for beginners, it's for everybody, including myself. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm gonna learn from you guys, and I'm gonna just share my experiences, and I'm gonna learn more from you than I can even give it back to you. So basically, we'll connect through the Slack and we'll help you get to the next steps in these sessions. And once you are done with that, okay, what's the next? So every 2 weeks, we have a different topics. I'll invite some of the leading consultants in Salesforce MuleSoft work, from different verticals, from different areas, from sales, from actual architecture, from basically the people who actually become successful using Salesforce Cloud. They become really successful as consultant, and they had no IT background. How they share their stories, share their journey. Just to take a pause for a second and give you a story that is very close to me, and hopefully in next few sessions that person herself might be come to you and share her story herself. So she's based out in US. She is basically a primary school teacher. She has a master's in that. She's very dedicated, but she gone through a lot of situations, and basically she's now a single mother of two. She was basically having, obviously she need to independent, want to have her financial financially stable and financially independent. And for that, she was looking into different things. So she came across my course last year. She started getting trained, get certification, get internship, and everything. So from 35K that she used to make, which was not enough for her to run her and her family with two kids, she finally able to close a position with a is a goal partner who will be starting her salary from 75 to $80,000 a year. No IT background whatsoever, never even no IT word in her life. But she was stubborn. She was hardworking. She was ready to do whatever it takes. She is ready to reach out to the people. She's ready to work hard. Obviously, she has two young kids, so she may have not that much liberty to work or learn like 10 hours a day. She has to take care of her family. But what she does is, as soon as her kids are going to sleep, she just study next 5 hours. She wake up early and study next 5 hours. If you have people like that, I can put all of my things on a side. I'm going to help them out, and a lot of people will jump and help them out. And they are the real people who really want to work, right? If they are putting so much effort, because I want to see how much serious are you with yourself. If you're not putting an effort, I'm sorry, I'm not going to put my effort to you because you are not deserving for that. But if you are putting 100% effort, maybe 150% effort, 200, I'm ready with my team, with everybody to put like 500% effort with you. So it's all about how much you are serious, how much you are dedicated. And especially if you are a woman, I have a lot of different organizations that I'm going to join them. Sana is here too. She's going to talk about her organization, and I'm basically doing a lot of these things together so we can help women in tech, especially Salesforce and MuleSoft is big on that. They will back us up. They will help us with the certifications, with vouchers, with training modules, with getting jobs, introducing to the organization. So it's like a whole lot of stuff coming out of it. Again, just to moving forward, then we talk about obviously certification and guidance and support, how to get certified, because we need to see something on your resume. A lot of people will come in, oh, is the certification necessary? Yes, it is. Because if you are not even committed enough to get a certification, guess what? You may not be committed enough to work. I don't know, if I refer you to somebody and you just didn't work well, it's going to look really bad, and I cannot recommend anybody else. I'm not going to recommend you if you're not even serious with yourself. If you have one certification, 3 months goes by, you don't have second certification, that's a problem. I don't like that. If you're sitting on two certifications and 3 4 months go by, you don't have your third certification, something wrong with you. You're not serious. Maybe you're thinking something else. I don't know. I need people, I need results, and I need people who are really want to excel, right? So I don't need people who are too smart. I don't need people who are already like best in their fields, but I want people who are hardworking and want to become best in their field, right? If you're good, if you're smart, very good. Well, but I'm not really looking for it because I'm not that one. I'm not too smart. I'm not too technical, but I'm hardworking. I try my level best. I put all my efforts, and then I see that every time if I put my enough effort, it gives me results. So I found a simple formula. There's no magic trick. There's no silver bullet. It's just about how much work you are putting in till you get what you need. So when I pick up something, I just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it till I get my results. Because unless I stop doing it, which makes that as soon as I stop, I have a 0% chance. But as long as I'm doing it, even there's a 1% chance, there is a chance. And I want to change that 1% into 99 or 100%. So coming back to that, then we'll talk about internships, job placement, working directly. Again, we won't do any of all the other stuff that other people or other organizations do, like fabrication of the resume, this. And we want to make sure you are you enable you to be a really good consultant. Anybody take your interview, they're like, oh my God, I want to take this guy today, like yesterday, right? That's what our goal is. So with that, basically the next step today, I'm going to go through that, is basically with all of these steps, just very quickly, different roles what we have in Salesforce, and then I'll show you how you can start working on Salesforce, right? So in terms of roles, you can have a lot of roles which are functional, and you have roles which are technical, right? So these are two main differentiations. So functional means you don't need to code, or you don't need to do a lot of technical aspect of it, but you still need to know a lot of technical stuff. Like you need to know like Salesforce in and out. So you still need to do certifications. I'm a Salesforce PM. That's how I started. I'm a very functional. Based on my job role, they said you don't really need to have Salesforce certifications. But even before I started, I knew that I may or may not need it. I go ahead and get certifications. Right now, I have like 4 or 5 certifications myself, although I don't need to really get into even log in into Salesforce. But every time I stumble upon a new Salesforce cloud, I start learn and make sure I get the certifications. I go through a lot of courses, right? So even though functional doesn't mean that you still don't need a certifications is has to be there, but there are different types of certifications. So if you're not technical, maybe you don't need like a developer certifications or architect certification, but there are like a consulting certifications like Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, marketing. You can do that. So we have a project management, which is obviously you can understand the person who managed the project. Then we have a business analyst, very key role and a really good role for somebody who's starting in the Salesforce. If you're good in communication, if you're good in documentation, that's really good to start off, right? Because that person is the person who's talked to the client, understand the requirements, convert that into like a good detailed documents, and then the technical team will take it from there, right? A really good role to get into Salesforce. You notice that I don't even put an admin in there, because to me, admin is something that, yes, you can start, maybe you can do some internships as an admin, but we are basically producing consultants. Consulting team, there's no admin, because if you have a business analyst, that will do all the admin part, meaning he will do all the configuration part, right? So to me, admin is really like a starting point, like the first step. You just go there. You should not stay on that for too long, maybe 6 months, 1 year, year and a half, and that's it. You need to jump into some serious roles, which we are talking right now. Then you have Salesforce consultant, which means that you are really expert in sales, service, marketing, one of these clouds or multiple clouds at the same time. Developer, as it says, you're a developer, you know coding, you know Salesforce coding is a different language, epics. And then you have like a lot of other stuff coming up. So you know that, you know coding, you know configuration, all that good stuff at the back end. Then obviously, like any other software, you need a QA. So a lot of times people forget about QA. Maybe if you have a QA background, that would be a good segue to get into Salesforce QA, right? Because you already know how to do QA. You just get a couple of certifications, understand how Salesforce work, and you put it together. And then here you go, you become a Salesforce QA, and that would give your entry into Salesforce pretty fast. And then from their point onwards, let's say you said, okay, this is not something I want to stay here for too long, no problem. You have all these different roles, learn more, and get to the point where you're looking for. Then we talk about some serious folks that I really want to get most of you to get to that point sooner rather than later, is like architect level. Like who is architect? They actually architect the system. There are two types of architects. One who actually put down the solutions. They're called usually solution architects. They know different clouds, they know in and out, they know how they connect and all that good stuff. And then you have like a technical architect who normally manage like the development teams. So if they are doing integrations, if they're building new stuff and they're stuck somewhere, or how to build them, how to do the best practices, how to manage the actual development team, and everything to deal with the code, with all the technical hiccups. So that's the technical architect who's like used to be very hands-on, and now they become into an architect role where they have a lot of these information. So these are the two key roles where without them, obviously, it's going to be very hard for your any organization, any partner, any consulting firm to really run. You need your architects. And then trust me, right now the pace of becoming an architect is like lightning fast, right? Like I don't know, some of you might know what I'm saying, lightning. So Salesforce interface is now called lightning. So Salesforce is lightning fast, right? So these roles are you to become architect. I have seen in my life people who started in Salesforce 2 years down the road, they become architects. 3 years down the road, they become architect. As soon, typically it used to take 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Not anymore. People are way too fast. They spend too much time. They get too many certifications. They work on different roles, and 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, they become architect. We are talking about serious money here. We are talking about even you can start competing with some of the doctors in US and Canada. That's what I'm talking about. That's like a serious money involved here. So we are not just a regular jobs or just getting into that. It's like a career, right? So basically the next step is what are the prerequisites, right? Who can get into Salesforce? Anybody. So the good part about Salesforce is you don't have literally no prerequisites. You can start with an admin without any prerequisite. It doesn't matter which technology or which profession you are from. It does not really matter. You can start it. I have people from sales, from marketing, from retail, and they are successful. And I think Sana may have a really good story about one really leading woman, and she can share it with you guys. With that, we'll basically go into very quickly Trailhead, and then I'll jump back to Sana, and she can share her story, give you a little bit about where she's from, how she's doing. So before that, now ready, let's say you are first time in Salesforce, you never have done Salesforce, how to start into the Salesforce. Like a lot of you, I'm sure you may already know the Trailhead, you're already doing it, but somebody who is brand new looking this all good stuff for the first time. So what you need to do, it doesn't take more than 2 minutes just to show you. So you just, and I'll share this presentation, send back to all the participants that you there today. Make sure you have signed up in the actual form where I'm asking about the emails and everything, right? Because I will just take that email and send it out to all the participants. So you just need to go to trailhead.salesforce.com, all right? And I'm gonna switch different windows over here. So the first window I have, and if somebody can confirm that you can see, actually the first one should be Safari. Yeah, that's Safari. And okay, that's that. And there was, okay, so the first one is here. So basically what you need to do is you can go to that particular website. I can, let me open another tab here. Or I don't want to miss my previous window, so, but still, let's see. Okay, so you go to Salesforce, so you go to trailhead.salesforce.com. This will show up. Basically, I've already signed in. I don't want to sign out, but I'll show you at the end how to sign in. But typically here you have like a sign on option. So you click on that button, and then what will happen, you will see a window like this, sign up with your email. And before that, this option will come up. So once you click sign in, you will get this window here. Instead of selecting Salesforce, any of those, you can just select your email, right? Here you can put your email, sign up. What will happen? There will be a code that goes to your email, like a 6-digit code. You put that code, and then you will see a window like this, right? So now you are just setting up your Salesforce Trailhead profile. So you put your name, you put whatever, how you want to do that. You can put just your name here. So it will be trailblazer.me ID, your name. And then you can go to the next window. In the next window, there are a couple of things I want to tell you. So first of all, it will ask about company name. So what you need to put there is, because if you want to, again, you can put whatever you want if you're working on a current company, but if you want to part of my organization or my plan where I can help you get jobs and all that good stuff, and if you don't have this already done, you can change the name, or you can put the name Unboxx, comma LLC with 2X. So basically these are two boxes that I come up. My logo is like think outside the box, right? So basically, how do you think outside the box? There are two boxes. One is your own personality, how you see yourself. You need to see it outside that no, you can do more, right? You can do better. And then how the other people see you and you put you in a box. So I just want to break all those boxes by calling it like Unboxx. This is something that I'm really passionate about. So as a company, you put UNBOXX, comma LLC. So in that way, Salesforce know that you are working in my program and they can pull your profile. That's all that purpose. But if you already have a profile, you're working, that's fine too. Then you can put your job title. You can say learner, anything else what you want. In terms of role, you can pick up, if you're starting now, you can put administrator. In the country name, you need to put US. Either you are anywhere. The reason is because my company is based out of US. So you are, hopefully if things work well, you might be just joining my company. That's very possible. So you can put United States, because my company is in United States. And then relationship, because I'm a Salesforce partner, you can put partner. And then my state is Virginia, which is suburbs of DC. So pick Virginia. So again, just take a snapshot, whatever, if you want. And then once you're done, it will create you a Salesforce um, Trailblazer profile for you. So once you are logged in into Salesforce, that's where I go to my last window here. This will look something like that. And then what's the next step you need to do? You click on credentials, you go to the certifications, you click on that, and then it will take you to the different certifications that Salesforce offers. So here you see administrator, which is our goal today, but you can also have like advanced administrator, CPQ, a lot of cool stuff, marketing cloud platform, and there are a lot of more that you can search. But right now we have here what we need. So we can just go with the administrator right now. And basically it will give you a lot of stuff about the exam, how to prepare for that. All of that good stuff is there. This is way too much information that you even need, right? So it has everything. You don't need to pay anybody. You don't need to do anything. You just need to be focused. And in order to help, we are here, right? So here, for example, you want to say, I want to start this program, prepare Salesforce administration credentials. You click on that, and it will take you to the actual learning path. Here, you again have two overviews. So one is just an exam overview and then configuration, but this is your first points. And then from there onwards, you have like the whole suite of things that you can cover. Everything you can do your own. And again, we will have our Slack channels and stuff that you can always come back. And if you are stuck somewhere, somebody will help you. I can help you. Somebody can help you. You can actually join different communities. So we'll talk all of that about in our future sessions when we are talking about something in particular. Right now, let's say you're starting for the first time. I'm just gonna click on the main module and just show you one other thing before we switch off. So this is your first, which is Salesforce Platform Basics. Once you get in there, that's your first window. So you start in doing all of that. You will get points. You will become like a, mountaineer after 10,000 point, and then a lot of different stages you can get that. So once you actually launch it for the first time, what will happen if you check at the back end? This will take like 2 to 3 minutes. So you can just come all the way down. See, it will be doing like this, and then basically it will launch the playground, which means that once you click on the launch, it will give you a Salesforce actual instance, which means that you don't need to pay anybody to really practice anything. This is exactly how Salesforce looks like in real as well, in real, in practice, in sandboxes. And this is exactly what it is. So all you do, you click on the app launcher and go to, for example, Sales Cloud, right? And it will give you, from here onwards, you have actually access to the Salesforce that you can actually learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice. Nobody can stop you unless you want to stop yourself, right? And then you can go back here and start from this. Here you may have some knowledge transfer, some basic, and then right there you can start doing like a hands-on stuff. So it's so interesting that people can get addicted. So I just want to say that just keep your cool and just do it how much as you can. Make sure you still give time to your family to make sure you go out and run and play and do some extracurricular activities and be healthy. But at the same time, it's so addictive. It's so cool. You get points. You become recognized, and all those points you can put it back on your resume. So it's not nothing wasted. Once you have like 100,000 points, you become a ranger, which almost like a certification by itself. Then when you get 200,000 points, you become a 2x ranger, 3x ranger. So now if you go back next time in LinkedIn, checking out Salesforce, you can see some of the people are 2x, 3x, 4x rangers, right? And then they have 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x like certified, right? A lot of good stuff. So this is basically it. You can able to start from there today. You don't need to wait anything. So again, it's just a Trailhead, trailhead.salesforce.com, and you're good to go. So with that, basically, you are able to ready to start. We are almost on time for Salesforce, but I'm just gonna switch quickly to Sana. And she can talk a little bit about her history, just to let her know. She started her career back in India. I know I had about 200 plus people signed up from India. So maybe like if even half of them showed up, maybe we have like 50 people from India or other subcontinent countries. So she started from there. She then worked there. She got multiple certifications. Now she's working in like really good organizations like Deloitte, Salesforce. She worked for Salesforce as well, I believe. And then Facebook and Google. I mean, amazing background. So Sana, without any further ado, can you take like 10 minutes, talk a little bit about what you have done, how did you achieve that, and then we'll continue to the MuleSoft.
Of course. So thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you everyone who has joined this call today. And trust me, you have signed up for success. Salesforce community is really vibrant. So let's start with my introduction a little bit. So I'm Sana Tariq and I have been working in Salesforce ecosystem for 8 years now. And when I say 8 years, I would say that I have no regrets that I have joined Salesforce. I was I was not even a computer science grad. I did my BTech in biotechnology. So I'm from a completely different background. I was campus recruited by um, from Wipro Technologies back in India. Trained in Salesforce. That time Salesforce was not that famous. So my family was like, maybe I'm trying to become a salesman. I don't know why did I do an engineering course. But then cut to 8 years now. I'm so glad that I didn't choose Salesforce. Salesforce chose me. I have no regrets. I'm a 14x Salesforce certified professional and I'm a double ranger. I'm also leading a women in tech group in California. So all the women in the house, please feel free to join the group and we meet regularly. We do knowledge transfer and all those things. So it's a great place to be in if you're starting over and if you know stuff. Again, it's a great place to tell people about your experience, your understanding, your knowledge. So that's how the community is. And I happened to also attend Dreamforce, which happened like last week. So yes, they did promote that Salesforce is out to add 9.3 million new jobs in another couple of years. So a very exciting time to be in the Salesforce ecosystem and get started. And I would want to touch few things for especially for people who are new and are just joining and are thinking about joining the ecosystem. So I always get a couple of questions. A is, do you actually need to know how to code when you are starting over? So the good part about Salesforce is it totally depends on you what you want to do. So if you have a thing of coding, you can have the developer track. But if you do not want to code and you still want to come into tech space, Salesforce gives you that opportunity as well. You can be an administrator, which do not require a lot of technical expertise. So or you can be a business analyst. So to answer to that question, no, you do not need to have a fair share of knowledge about how to code to get started in the Salesforce ecosystem because they have multiple tracks. The other thing is, do you need to know any specific language? No, because Salesforce has a proprietary language, which is Apex, and now we have LWC, which is again almost similar to JavaScript, but again, it has proprietary syntax. So even if you do not know anything, you can start from scratch and you can still go onto the ladder to become a technical expert. So that's also there. There are a lot of stories of women who have really made it big. One such example is a person who is currently the director of director at a very big banking organization in US. She started off as a hairstylist. So if she can become a technical director, I think anybody can come into this ecosystem and can do their best. Another thing is certifications. A lot of people ask like, do you need certifications and how many do you need? How much is good enough? There is not a set number, but certifications are a good way to show that you are growing, you are learning, and it gives you a mandate when you go for interviews. People do check, but that's about it. Just having certification and do not have not having the right experience doesn't do anything. So when you have a certification, please be able to justify it that you know what the certification entails and you have worked on those things. So the way out to earn certification would be work through things and then have the certifications rather than just having certifications and not being able to explain what that certification is about. We do have an ongoing community group, which is there on the success community. I will be sharing the link. Feel free to join there. It's about women in tech, Dublin, California. So we do meet on regular basis. We do knowledge transfer, and we do have events which Salesforce organizes. So it's a good place to start, and it's a very supportive community. Don't be shy. Just come out, join things, and exchange information. So yeah, that's about myself. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer at least about Salesforce.
Cool. Thank you very much, Sana, for joining and giving background and telling your story. And just to keep in mind, she will be one of our technical mentors in future. She agreed to help us with that. So as I said, when we talk about this initiative, we need a lot of technical people. We need a lot of other non-technical functional people. We need a lot of partners. We need Salesforce partners, so that when you have certification, when you have experience, you need a job. So they can provide the job. And trust me, right now, if you are anywhere, doesn't matter if you're in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, US, Canada, go and look out the positions which are open for Salesforce. On a daily basis, a lot of my students, other folks who are in there, they are saying they're bombarded with positions. They've been offered like 2 times, sometimes 25%, sometimes 2 times uh, more salaries. People are jumping from here and there because the demand is so high. Again, at this time, the most beneficial folks are those who have experience, right? Who know the things in and out. But it's not too late. If you put your effort, get your certifications, get your experience, even somebody says work for volunteer for free, do it. It's like if you need, I would say if you need to pay somebody to work on a project, do that. It will give you the dividend big time. It's about investment. So I just want to just mention one thing before we jump into the MuleSoft. Invest in yourself, right? Think about a business. Let's say forget about professional job. Let's say you want to start a business. Can you start a business without investing any money? Right? You can. In US, talk about, let's say if I want to start something today, just a simple card or something, I need to invest minimum 50,000 to $100,000 without getting anything for multiple months, maybe years, till I break even and then start making my profits, right? So if I need to invest that much into doing a business, why can't I invest a little bit of money in my own profession, which also going to give me a lot of money? So anytime, the way I think about it, the way I tell myself and I tell anybody, what is the cost of the lost opportunity, right? What is the cost? So for example, if you're not employed for 1 month, right? In US, for example, just take a basic number, you might be losing $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So simple consultant can make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 easy, right? Let's say $4,000 a month. So any month that you are not working, you are losing $4,000. So don't think of that is your if you spend like a $500, $400, $1,000, you're spending a lot of money. No, in US, people spend hundreds of $1,000, like 150 to $200,000 on just doing bachelors. And guess what? After that, they barely got any jobs, right? A lot of them are unemployed for years to go, and then they have to pay their in certifications in Salesforce and all of that. You just need to spend a small amount of money, but the time is the essence. How quickly you do that. Don't spend like days and weeks and debating about can I take this $100 course, can I give this $200 certification? Do it right now. Just do it yesterday, right? Because it's going to pay you big time. People from offshore these days, they are making anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 a month if they're really good what they're doing, from their bedroom, from their home, working from home, working two jobs, working multiple projects. It is insane. If you tell me right now, I have a 4 years experience in marketing cloud, I can get you $10,000, $15,000 a job per month right now, even if you're sitting offshore. It's crazy out there. It's like burning hot. So if you really want to get in, if you're let's say talk about MuleSoft, right? So we are jumping into MuleSoft. So people don't even know what MuleSoft is. We're gonna learn out in a little bit, but people don't even know. Let alone imagine you need a MuleSoft consultant. It's like open green field. It's like you can run wherever you want. All you need to do is just to make money, right? You run here, you run there, you run left, right? You will make money anywhere you run in those two areas, right? You become marketing cloud consultant, you become CPQ, you become like a Pardot, you become like a server. It's all over the place. It's just you need to be good at it, right? If you're saying, oh, I'm not getting a job, then you have to go back and see, are you good at it? Do you have experience? You don't have experience, what you did about that? Are you applying to the right place? Are you doing volunteer? Are you doing whatever? So I know my some of my students, this is an exceptional examples, but I know somebody who spent like 15 plus hours a day, and under 2 years this guy become an architect offshore, working right now, making $5,000 to $8,000 from my hometown, Karachi, Pakistan. This is as crazy as it can get. And I'm not fabricating it. You go out there, you check the numbers, you will know that this market is crazy. So with that, let me quickly jump into again my presentation, and we'll start talking about our next topic, which is MuleSoft. So let's talk quickly about what is MuleSoft, why do we need it? I touched upon a little bit, but kind of reiterate that one more time. So now we are talking about Salesforce or other systems, and sometimes you can even take Salesforce out of the picture, right? Now you have multiple systems you're working. Let's say you have a SAP system where you have some registration. You have another system where you have some other, let's say you are running different loans out there. Then you have a third system which is connected to the government. And then you have your own company system. Now, if you want to run an application, you may need to run in the first system. Somebody need to log in, or you need to log in the second system, third system, fourth system, and then update it. Imagine how much pain is that. And if somebody missed that, you have like a different information everywhere. You might need to put together, export different reports, put it together, whatever. So that is like a way back. Now what companies need to do is they're kind of basically connecting those systems together like a pipeline. So they connected via pipeline, and now you input into one system, it will update it in all the connected system. You update a system, you update a value, it will update it in all the system. Other way around, if you update the secondary system, that will update it, and you can control which is going to be the master system, which is going to be a slave system. Is going to be a single direction, or is it going to be a bi-directional? If you add new features, new component, like new fields, you just need to basically connect to the new fields in the new one. So it's like an ongoing thing. It's not going to be a one-time thing, right? So you need MuleSoft in order to connect different things together. So just think of them as like a sticking area where you just stick a lot of these things and they just all start talking to each other, right? So that's MuleSoft basically. And Salesforce, as they are so visionary, and what they are doing from get-go is just look out the future. They predict the future, what is needed, and they go buy the product which are available, integrate with their environment, make them better, and they come back with a tool which is like, oh my god, this is like crazy. Before that, nobody even heard about it. So now MuleSoft is one of the top-notch connecting tool. And then I have somebody from MuleSoft, so not a person, she's actually from MuleSoft, and I'll talk a little bit about her once we get to her, and she will show you some chart that how far across like MuleSoft in with their competitors. They're not even close. So that's what MuleSoft is. And if you trust me, a lot of people, even who are architect level, some of them, they don't even know what MuleSoft is, how does it work? So that's a great opportunity that you can start learning about this, and you can learn even as a fresh. I'll talk about what is the prereq. We understood that if you don't have IT knowledge, nothing, then you can start with Salesforce. I'll talk about MuleSoft, what you need. So here, before getting into what you have, the three different roles, what is the prereq? So for MuleSoft, it might require a little bit of prereq. So for example, if you have basic understanding of object-oriented programming, any language, any object-oriented programming, you're good. You need to know a little bit of data formats. Again, if you have the object-oriented programming, then you can learn like data format, easy stuff, right? 1 or 2 weeks, spend some time, you're good to go. And then integration technologies, again, if you have worked somewhere, you have done like a REST API and all that good stuff, you're good to go. 6 months experience, 1 year experience, anywhere in IT, we're doing all of these stuff together as a Java, as a PHP or whatever, HTML, some basic idea about the connection, the XMLs, things of that sort, that will really help you. Now, if you want to jump into still Salesforce and MuleSoft and you don't have any of these, then I would recommend then go ahead and do these things first. Learn object-oriented programming and then get into MuleSoft. In the meantime, flip side, you can just start with the Salesforce. That doesn't require any of these things. And when you are mature enough, maybe you have like object-oriented planning, object-oriented language programming in the next year or two, you can come back and join MuleSoft. Now you know everything, or maybe in between you can learn some skills out of that. So no problem, right? So these are the skills within the MuleSoft. The roles are defined slightly different way. So, and again, Sobia I'll give a chance to her and she will explain it more. So just on a high level, you have like three main types of Salesforce MuleSoft certifications or roles that you can play. One is the MuleSoft certified developer, which is like a sort of entry level position where you can get in. You can actually, so MuleSoft by the virtue, it's sort of a low code, no code type platform, which means that they are not really saying that it's a coding platform. However, because it's obviously deals with a lot of complicated systems, you need to know language even in order to execute those. And in many cases, you still need to write your own small queries and run and connect the API. So you still need a developer as an entry level. Then you have another role, which is like a little bit higher, like an architect level, which is integration architect, which means that you may need a little bit more technical background, and you need to have uh, basically some knowledge, and then you can do that. And then you have a platform architect. So one of them, and then basically I'll come back to this slide, um, but which one? Let me see. Yeah, so basically the architect, I'll come back to this slide, but the architect level, the platform, or is that the platform architect? Integration architect. So integration architect is basically, this is the second one, which is more technical. So these goes hand in hand. So you're a developer, then you can become an integration architect. Platform architect, you can just do it standalone. Again, if you have working in Salesforce for multiple years, you're a developer, you know all that good stuff. So you can even go there. You may or may not need a lot of heavy coding, but again, as I said, because this area involves a lot of stuff, it's better you have that equipped. So these are different roles that we are talking about. Again, I will share that with you. In terms of in terms of in terms of learning MuleSoft, I'll show you quickly from where you go, and for that purposes. And again, I don't know, maybe if Sobia will kind of reiterate that, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of head start on there, and then she can pick it up from there. So basically, you can go to trainings.mulesoft.com.
Hey, Khurram, it actually starts with mulesoft.training.com. You're almost there.
Nope.
Hang on, let me do the.
I'll just pick up I have the link over here
I
just
think
to.
the training was spelled incorrect.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go. I have just. Okay, so basically, I'll go to the main page again. So it's you can go to the main website, which is mulesoft.com, and then from there onwards, you can also go to the training part itself. So here you can basically learn a little bit about what MuleSoft is, and then you can um, go to the training part, which is trainings.mulesoft.com. We can check the spelling here. So it's basically training.mulesoft.com, right? So it's not S, or training.mulesoft.com. So here, basically, if I go to the training part, I just want to show you different points that you can cover. So there are three different areas, three different options that you can start off. So where we need to start off, we will start from the self-paced courses. So I want to show you that if you want to start and you feel like you have all the prereq, it's a free course. You can start even today. So there are multiple items here. You have a getting started with any point platform, which says 2 days. You can skip that for now. You have any point flow design 1 day. You can skip that for now. You will always come back to that. But what you need to start is called development courses, Anypoint Studio. And this one is the second last from the list. It's called Anypoint Platform Development Fundamentals. This is the one that you need to start off. It says 5 days, which means that technically, if you are taking an instructor-led course, they will spend 40 hours on that. Right now, this is full free. So you can click on that, and basically I'll show you a couple of other things that you need to make sure you follow that if you want to take some advantage. Again, right now it's totally free. You will click on register and you will get this form. Again, you can put your personal email, Yahoo, Google, whatever you want, first, last name, a company. Again, what you need to do is you need to put Unboxx, LLC, because that will enable me to help you get some extra paid certifications, because this is the only certification which is free. This particular certification costs $5,000 if you take an instructor-led training. So right off the bat, if you start this training today, you put Unboxx with 2x with 2x, make sure it's not a single X, with 2x, comma LLC, you will be sort of kind of working through my organization. Same thing in the company email, you can write your personal email, the same that you used above. And then in the country, you still need to use United States because I'm a partner in United States. So if you are sort of working under my organization name, I can help you get the next steps. I can help you connect with the other partners that I'm working directly. So this is very key. You need to make sure you need to put Unboxx LLC and you need to put US because I'm based out of US. So hopefully you'll be working with my organization, and very soon, if you have goals to be in US, that's also a lot of possibility, a lot of work is coming out. Anyways, so you sign up over here, you can start it. Now going back to um, my different types of trainings, what basically I'm helping you with, along with obviously working with MuleSoft, Salesforce, other partners, is this developer training. You can check the pricing on it. It actually $5,000. So if I don't know if I can quickly show you there. Um, so here you can see that, right? So I'm not making it up. Basically it's right there where you have signed off for the training. If you take the instructor-led training, this is like a $5,000 training, right? And what I'm going to do with, once you're starting those training, I have a person who is on an architect level. He will be sitting on your Slack channels. If you're stuck somewhere, he can help you. If you get to the next level, when you're ready to basically prepare for the exam, you just don't go by yourself, right? So I'm gonna, or basically we gonna help you with like practice tests, right? You may not find those like Salesforce, right? It's not readily available. You may find it maybe, but normally not, right? We may help you with MuleSoft folks who actually do a refresh sessions. Once they see you are under my organization, Unboxx LLC, I can go to them. I say, hey, I can put a request saying that I have a couple of folks who are ready for their certification. Can you set up a request? Can you set up a refresh session for us? Again, sometimes they charge, but if you are working through a partner, they may give us they may give us for free. They said, okay, sure, we can do that. And then we can also look for the vouchers for future. We have vouchers I'm going to talk about for future purposes, other certifications. So as I said, this is the first developer certification. If you fulfill the minimum requirements, you can start today. So for example, if you are a Java developer, you have like a 6 months, 1 year experience, good to go. If you're a Salesforce developer, year, 2 year experience, 6 months, 1 year experience, good to go, right? If you know all of those things, like what I mentioned, like programming languages, some XML stuff, you're good to go. So you can start directly on a very niche platform. You don't need to go through Salesforce to become MuleSoft. MuleSoft is a separate path, the way, because they are interfering too much. So it's very good for a Salesforce consultant to learn MuleSoft and become like even more niche. And somebody who knows Salesforce and MuleSoft, you can imagine the rates they're going to charge on hourly or yearly basis, right? It's going to be crazy. So if you're a Salesforce architect and you're a MuleSoft architect, I may need to take an appointment from you, basically, like, I take an appointment from doctors. So you become like a surgeon, right? Kind of that kind of thing, right? And this is doable for surgeons. They need to spend a lot of money. They need to spend 10, 15 years of education. And then it's a very hard. Here, 2 years, 3 years, you are basically making what surgeon makes, right? So here you go. You have the first one, which is free. The next one, that's where the interesting part comes, and that's where I want you to put the Unboxx LLC, is the architect level trainings are not available for free. They are not self-paced. The only way you can take them, and they cost 3,750 or 6,250, right? These are all US dollars. This will cost you that much, and the only way you can take those trainings is to pay that money and do that. Now, if you work with us and if you pass your developer and if you are doing some stuff, and we see that a potential in you, Unboxx can sponsor your 3,750 certification. We can sponsor your 6,250 certification. Either we work with MuleSoft or pay from our pocket, whatever that is, but we will give you that. So when I say that we have like $25,000, $30,000 in certifications and stuff is coming up, this is what it is. Same thing goes for Salesforce. Once you do the basic, because I need to see what you're made up of, right? If you do 1 or 2 certifications, you're good at it, we'll probably let you go through our evaluation process. If we feel like, yeah, you are somebody who is very enthusiastic, we don't really need smart people. We just need people who are hardworking, enthusiastic, want to do something, make their name out of. If you are one of those people, we can start giving you free vouchers for Salesforce as well, like Marketing Cloud. So Marketing Cloud, for example, you cannot learn from anywhere. There's no free environment available. We do. We can put you on the environment. We will train you. Usually, if you go out, it's like a very expensive cloud. There's no CPQ instances available out there that you can go and train yourself and become a CPQ. No, the only basics ones are available, sales, service, and stuff. But if you want to get into the niche, then you need to work with organizations like Unboxx to give you that next level. So with all that getting into mind, developer, if you're ready, you can start today. In terms of timing, let's say if you are not employed, you're free, you don't have family, you're single, you have a lot of time on your heads, and you can do it in 1 week. 40 hours, put 10 hours a day, 50 hours, you have 10 hours spare to go. Next week, give the exam, right? Let's say you're working, you have family to do. You don't need to take more than 4 weeks for this exam, trust me. Because if you're not making time out of it, is meaning you're not serious, right? You are just, yeah, maybe I do it, maybe not. We don't need people like that. We don't need maybes, right? We need people who are certain, who have targets, who have target money in their head, who need, oh, I need to make $10,000 a month in next whatever years, whatever months, right? We need those people. We need people, hey, I need to feed my family, I need to get this much money, right? I need to buy a car, right? I need to do this, I need to go on vacation. You need to be focused. Whatever that purpose is, I don't care. That's your own thing. But I need people who has focus, who can go in there, do that, because those people, we can take them, we can put on our enterprise level projects, we can put on a government projects. If you're in the US, there's a huge demand in public sector. We don't have people. If you can get the clearance, you can 2 months, 3 months, as soon as your certification, if you have background, we can put you on a public sector project. It's like a huge demand. We don't have people. Organizations don't have people. Go to the MuleSoft partners and ask them, how many people do you have sitting on a bench? Maybe none, maybe -5, -10, right? Because they have positions, but they don't have people to fill in. It's like an amazing opportunity to look for. It's not a scam. It's not something we are taking any money from you. We are giving money back to you. What is in for us? What is in for me? I'm very passionate, as I told you. Again, that can help me, that can help Salesforce, that can have MuleSoft. More the merrier, right? More consultants available, more work we can do. Right now, a lot of our projects are basically slow down. They are having issues because we don't have enough resources. So we want to build ecosystem where we have these people readily available, moving faster, things of that sort. So wrapping that up, and again, as I said, I'll send all of these via email. Make sure you signed up on the Google map that I have so that you can receive it. That's the only way. If you drop a message on here, it doesn't comes to me. I cannot go back to the 100 messages and get out of it. Make sure the Google sheet that I've sent out, you have email and all that information in there. I will just take that email and send it out to everybody. And then in future, we can kind of bifurcating them into 2 teams and then, take it from there. Anyways, with that, I'm going to pause a second here and I'll give the stage to Sobia. Just a quick intro. She is local in DC. She got into Salesforce a couple of years back. She built that particular area along with other partners, and now they started from a couple of folks, like 4 or 5, and now they have 50 plus folks who are working in the organization. They're growing like anything, and then she's the one who kind of introduced me to MuleSoft as well, helped me get to the next level. And then, we are working with same thing with Salesforce. Maybe next time I'll introduce some of the Salesforce folks as well. So Sobia, you want to take over?
Yes, thank you, Khurram. Just real quick, Khurram, I think you may have to share or give me rights for the video, if that's okay with you.
You're on mute, Khurram.
I just make you a co-host. Can you try now?
Yep. There it is. All right, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. And I am so glad to be here today. So really appreciate everyone's time. And really thank you, Khurram, for giving me the opportunity to, spend some time with everyone here. I'm going to share my screen real quick. So let me know when you can see that.
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay.
We can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So, again, I'm very excited to be here today. And I want to make sure I can give you guys a bit of exposure around MuleSoft and what we're doing, right? We've been talking about a lot of Salesforce core is how we refer that to. Salesforce is a front-facing platform, whereas MuleSoft is the backbone of all the applications that are running behind the Salesforce database is what MuleSoft is focused on, connecting everything. So it's the world of API and it's the world of integration. And MuleSoft, I mean, the world of integration right now, it's stated to be a big unresolved problem with ever-growing IT budgets. So MuleSoft is helping our customers solve their business and IT problems. And partner enablement is a key to our success and growth, which means it's, jointly working with all of you guys is where we need help under Khurram's organization. I'm hopeful that, we can get more folks trained and certified because like he was saying, MuleSoft is in so much demand today, yet we don't have enough resources to help support some of our clients or, sometimes even the delays are taking place. So it's the best time to get in and get involved and increase your knowledge. We are on Trailhead, so I'll be happy to share some of the information, post this event with you guys as well. So let me make sure my slides are also right here. So before I move on to some of the next slides too, I want to mention to you that Salesforce is making a ton of investments in the market, right? So we have an incredible opportunity here together and know that your success will be the key in achieving this. With that said, I officially want to introduce myself too. So Sobia Seth, I am one of the partner managers on the MuleSoft team, heavily focused in public sector, but happy to support anyone and everyone kind of across the board, right? Different verticals. And we work very, very closely with our core Salesforce team. So anywhere we can help collaborate on any joint opportunities, trainings, happy to guide you guys there, but look forward to working with everyone in the future as well. All right, so, so as you guys know, some of the plushies, right? So they're pretty famous internally in the Salesforce world. So what is the donkey that you see? Why is that MuleSoft and where does the name come from? Khurram, I wanna make sure, can you see my next slide so it's moving along?
Yep, I can see that.
Okay, perfect. So this is Max the mule. Actually have one of those right here. So let me tell you real quick a little bit about MuleSoft and how we even got started, right? So Max was born in 2003 out of our original founder, which was Ross Mason. And it was out of his frustration of having to connect all these disparate systems. And back then Ross was working on an investment bank in England. He was on a project to connect 7 systems, which was going to cost him 30 million euros and take 18 months to complete that project back then. Now, he was struck by how incredibly painful and complicated his experience turned out to be and how IT was becoming a bottleneck for him. So this really led Ross to create an open source frame called Mule, the mule who was going to take the donkey work out of integration. So here we are today with Max the Mule. So just interesting fact about the company, right? Now, what is our mission and what is our mission statement? So let me share that with you. So our mission statement, which you see right here, is to help organizations change and innovate faster by making it easy to connect the world's application data and devices. MuleSoft takes the donkey work out of integration, like I mentioned. We help organizations change and innovate faster. Our solution makes things easier for organizations to connect their applications, data, and services. It is the world's most robust integration platform. And I can confidently say that by the backing of Gartner Magic Quadrant report, which the latest was just recently released, that MuleSoft is the only leader in both full API lifecycle as well as your iPaaS management. So now changing and innovating faster, that's the transformation of our customers that they're looking for. So integration landscape. let me share my background real quick, right? What brought me to MuleSoft and Salesforce ecosystem even. And MuleSoft was purchased or acquired by Salesforce just about 3 years ago. And I came in, say, 2.5 years ago. So it's been wonderful watching everyone grow together in different teams. When I joined the company, our public sector group, let's say, within MuleSoft, it was about 5, 6 account executives on the sales team. Today, fast forward 2 years later, roughly, it's about 50, 55 account executives on our sales team and business development team. But then that goes with engineers, customer success, professional services, folks, and partner management, and on and on and on, right? All the roles that have been connected. And our group on public sector went from just a handful of people with the functioning roles, about 300 some people. That goes same for every vertical, whether it's healthcare, insurance, retail, so media, entertainment, all these different sectors have full groups in place. And based on what you guys are looking to, what your passion is, what type of job opportunity you would like to get into, we can certainly help you get into it. And just remember that integration is needed everywhere right now. It is the most demand, especially with pandemic, working from home. All these applications, all these systems at companies are so behind that it needs upgrades and connections. And that's something we're heavily focused on and growing with our partners and our clients. So talking about, the integration landscape, right? Sticking to that, this slide shows how IT is a huge unresolved problem. So the global market for integration is about $700 billion. Yes. And of that $700 billion, about, you see in the top, the 32 billion is what MuleSoft is after as a software company. And then the customers are kind of doing their own, some of them works themselves, their own coding, their own internal project, which is the bottom, which is your 274 billion. Now what's left is right in the middle, 394 billion for the technology partners. And that would be you, my friend. So customers and MuleSoft needing support from all of the experts out there that can support us. That's how much the market gap is, where, please jump on it is what I ask. I would love to help you guys trained over there. Now, MuleSoft is not in the business to be a services company. We are a product company, which is selling a lot, and we need your help on the implementation side of our projects, right? Make them successful. And that is why we're here today. We need our partners to work with us jointly. And I'm so glad that Khurram has, launched this program that he can bring on experts under his umbrella and work with us jointly together. So real quick, just, what is MuleSoft's biggest competition? So I know Khurram was mentioning that earlier too. This slide shows right here our market share over our competitors. We are the #1 growth market leader, and MuleSoft is the fastest growing cloud at Salesforce. So it's expected and predicted within Salesforce, call it the integration cloud, basically, that in just a couple of years, we are going to make up a huge portion of Salesforce's business, the way we are supporting on integration needs and connecting all the applications. So however, we're right now only in just about somewhere around 6 to 7% of customer base of Salesforce. So you can imagine the opportunity is just tremendous. There's so much more to capture, so much business to come, so much job opportunities to come through. Hence the 9 to 10 million job that will be opening within the over the next few years that we will be fulfilling. This just kind of a snapshot to show you the competitors, especially the folks, if you've got the background in integration, maybe perhaps one of the biggest, easiest way to think of it too, MuleSoft is an integration full platform. So we don't really have a true competition, I almost want to say, because we can do end-to-end on integration platform, take about 20 different types of integration competitors in small little areas is what makes up one platform of ours. So Dell Boomi and Jitterbit and Google Apogee and Kong and, you can see Informatica, they all compete with us in a very tiny space, But if you've got a background in any of them and you're, good developer, architect, background coder, you are very most welcome to join and see if we can help scale your skills along the way. So how can you make money, right? That's why we're here today, especially to learn what's the best way to kind of find the right opportunities in our career path along the way. So again, like I mentioned, we're a product company who happens to have services, but our team here is to just kind of teach and guide and help establish environment on advisory services space and work with our partners and get them enabled to help co-sell and co-deliver with our teams. So sticking to kind of the enablement program and how does it work? So we have tremendous assets around enablement available. To share even a fact real quick, I heard earlier this year, which was by 2025, there's going to be a shortage within the software engineer industry of about 150 million folks worldwide. So this is a perfect time to get MuleSoft certified. Again, the demand is there. I'm very excited to make sure that anything you guys may need along the way, how to guide you through all of the great assets that we have available. So Trailhead, MuleSoft's training website and all these other areas, and working through Khurram will make sure that we provide any incentives as possible along the way, right? And not to go too deep on how all the trainings work, but I saw several questions that were coming up in the chat. I'm not monitoring that right now, but again, to mention, when you create your profile, it's very simple. You can use your personal email address. You may be working at a company right now or not working at a company. Either way, you can use your personal email address. If you would like me to help kind of track internally with MuleSoft, and you're under Khurram's program under Unboxx, then just put your company name as Unboxx. It does not show up on your actual certificate when you graduate, when you complete the certification. And in fact, when you move on to your next company, you can carry your certification with you. It's kind of like your own independent branding name is what your company name is almost. So feel free to use your personal email address. I think some of the other questions were, how long is the MuleSoft certification good for? 2 years. So from the day you take the certification, it's good for 2 years. There's different learning paths. The developer certification, that is you can do it 2 ways: self-paced, online based. You can start anytime. You can start today if you wanted to. It takes about good 40 hours to complete that. Make sure you complete all of your modules, because if you do go through each and every module on your self-paced online training on your own time, then you'll actually receive a free voucher to take the exam as well. And earlier we were mentioning that's what's $5,000 certification cost of that developer exam and the training, right? So this is a huge benefit. Please take advantage of that. And if that's something, you're a hands-on person, like to take classes with teachers, instructors, and whatnot, that's when kind of like the cost factor comes in. And if you work under Khurram's program, we'll kind of figure out ways how we can help address some of the costs and offset the cost for you guys. Then mentioned about the different types of certifications. So if I go to the next slide, which is really showing you the learning paths. I know Khurram's going to share these slides with you guys, and if you guys have post questions, happy to answer those. But this kind of shows you different developer paths and then different areas of even becoming a integration architect or the platform architect. One thing to help clarify, integration architect, it is the advanced level of architect. So if that's the area you want to pursue, again, a lot of high demand. If anything, what we see, if I can help you with a ratio, companies that have a MuleSoft practice around integration, 80% of their individuals would be developers and about 20% are architect. So you can kind of run the numbers on your own, is how much more architect focused folks we're looking for. And that's something, you're customer facing, you're working on designing the solution, you're working on responding to those proposals that are being done. That's kind of your hands-on architecture type of work, right? Versus developer, your hands-on doing development into the projects. So kind of going back to then, developer is the first path to start if you are interested in becoming an integration advanced level architect. And then on the separate side, if you just would like to focus on platform architect and really just understand how the platform is running and design that, you can start that. There's no prereq as a developer on that either. And this is something that's available publicly. We can help share it through, again, resources under Khurram's program, which is Partner Calendar. There is all sorts of events. Even when Dreamforce comes up, you can find links over there. Any training classes that come up, you can find links over there. Marketing support events, webinars, you name it, right? Around all sorts of different industries too. If you guys may or may not know, Salesforce is actually divided by each industry internally. So we have verticals by insurance, banking, which is financial group, or HLS, your healthcare life sciences. So anything related to healthcare industry, public sector, which is your federal, state government, nonprofit, higher education. So we're kind of divided by different teams internally, and you can find events based on interest level, area of expertise, whatever that comes from your background, right? And with that said, I really, really appreciate everyone's time today. And, one thing I do want to say, how Khurram was mentioning that, if you put in your effort and your time, we are going to help you. We're going to help put even more investment in you, right? And it actually reminded me on one of the texts my friend sent to me the other day, which was, I want to read this text out to you guys real quick, which was, this guy said, during my interview today, I poured some water into a cup and it overflowed a little bit. So the person interviewing then said, nervous a little, asked the interviewer, and he simply said, no, I just always give my 110%. So looking forward to working with you guys. And this is very, very exciting. So appreciate today's time.
All right, cool. Thank you, Sobia, for joining and giving a lot of information. I'll move to the Q&A now. Again, I have actually answered a couple of questions. You can unshare your screen if you want, Sobia. Okay, awesome. All right, so very good. So guys, we have a couple of more minutes. So what I can do is I can take any questions. So there's a section here in Q&A. I can answer. There's one kind of a sort of a funny question about what was the age when I did the transition, right? Sort of a personal question, but I can answer that. It's basically I'm already like 40 plus, 42 to be exact. And when I did it, I was 35 plus, so 36, 37. I was in the middle of my prime career. There was nothing wrong, to be very honest. It was not something that I don't have a job or I lost my job or my position was not good. I was actually a senior manager about to become a director in Nokia, which is, everybody knows about it. I was actually started with Alcatel-Lucent. And again, I think I have a history that whatever company I join will be acquired by somebody. So when I joined Alcatel-Lucent a couple of years, Nokia actually acquired Alcatel-Lucent, so I become a Nokia employee. And again, there are 1,000 plus employees, very good company, very big. There are a lot of opportunities within there that I can do that. However, as I said, and I was on a trajectory to become a director within a couple of months. But the thing was, I was not happy is I don't have like the freedom that I can go in there, maybe not exactly what I want to work. And I feel like, I'm kind of a chained in the profession. And as you know, a lot of us think like that, especially my age group, that if you have done something, you invest so much time, that's basically you die with, simple as that, right? So I'm a different type of person. I feel like, no, it's just, I have one life. I need to enjoy, and I spend basically 60, 70, 65% of my life in working. So if I spend 10 hours sometime more hours in working, I should do something that I really enjoy. And if I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, it's time to change, right? So I kind of just decided all of a sudden that no, and again, it's not all of a sudden, I was thinking about there for some time. And then I said, okay, how can I change? So what I did is like a very planned move. It's not something that I just was really disheartened and all of a sudden I decided to just join Salesforce the next day and get a job. It doesn't happen like that. And especially if you're in mid-career. So obviously I have a kitchen to run, I have kids, I have family, I have responsibilities. So I need to make the same money every month while changing the career, right? So basically what I did is I pre-planned that. I did my certification, I did my everything so that when I switch in real time, I have all what it needs to basically get to a similar, maybe slightly lower. That's what I was expecting, that I may get a job in Salesforce, slightly lower pay scale that I have, which I was open to, which I was already accepted. I knew that that might come through. I may take 20% cut in my salary. That's fine. I may get back. But it just happened the other way around. I actually got 20% appreciation in my salary, and you might be amazed, but that's true because I was I won't say I was lucky. I actually put a lot of hard work in that. I understand it. I did certifications. I did hands-on experience. And when I was giving interviews, was very confident, and even more confident in a couple of people who are actually in Salesforce as a project managers because they don't have the technical knowledge. So I bring up with the technical knowledge. I come up with my management certifications. I'm a PMP as well, and some other change management certification. I have my Salesforce certification. I have my experience. It's just gonna be hard for them to say no to me. Simple as that. So I just want to make sure when you go out there, you don't keep excuses for yourself. Just make sure that they don't have anything, your employer, your potential employer, don't find things to say no, because you just make sure you have everything what they need. And if you don't have all of that, find a way to have all those things on your resume. It's all possible. Don't tell me that I don't know. If I ask you to get a coupon for this or that, I can tell you within like 5 minutes, half of you will come back. Here you go, like a free coupon or half a price of this and that. So don't give me that excuse that I don't know. Where can I find it? No more, right? I mean, you have cell phones, you have smartphones, you have laptops, you have everything. You are more smarter generation than even I am, right? So you can do more, you can find more, you can find things that you need if you want to. The problem is, do you really want to? So if you really want to, you will find a way out. Let's jump into other Q&A. What else? Okay, I have 6 years experience as a PHP developer. Now I am trying to be a Salesforce developer. So after this, what can be my next role if I want to go in Salesforce? So if you're already a developer, it means that you have like a really good skills, and that's a very kind of a convenient way to become a Salesforce. So usually Salesforce have its own language, which is very similar to Java and other stuff. And if you have PHP, it's for you, it's gonna be very easy. You can learn it on your own. Basically, try to get a couple of certifications, get a hands-on to the Apex language, get a hands-on of a couple of other advanced things that you can learn, like how to build like LWC components, maybe pick up a platform, get a couple of certifications, try to get a job because you already, I'm sure, with the 6+ years experience, you're working somewhere. Once you have those certifications, once you have that a little bit of experience, just try to get into there somehow and gain more experience. 3-4 months hands-on experience in Salesforce, you are golden. Then you can just go from there onwards wherever you need. Sophia, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was also noticing some questions coming through. If I can help address a
Sure,
real quick. As far as your profile goes, once you create your student learner profile on MuleSoft.training.com, you can update that anytime. You may have started that on your personal or another company, but if you would like to be under Khurram's program within his organization, Unboxx, just simply update your student profile to under company name to be Unboxx, and we can associate and track you accordingly that way.
Cool, awesome.
And then there was one more question about what was the money slide was about, the best one, right? Too bad that we don't have enough time today. Would love to do additional sessions later, but basically, once you have your credentials, once you become an expert on coding or architecting MuleSoft, can we get you on projects? That's what your question was. again, as long as you're working with Khurram under his company and kind of like, as a subcontractor or a contractor, however that nature works out for you guys, Khurram is going to be working on a ton of MuleSoft Salesforce related projects in the future. We've got great engagements going on with our clients together. So as he needs resources, that's who he's going to turn to, is one of you guys who's ready to go and can board on projects with us.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what I said, is basically, there are a lot of things coming up, a lot of projects coming up, and then, we need team members, we need more consultants, we need MuleSoft consultant to have onboarded so that, we can provide those resources, we can work on those projects. Cool. I have another interesting question I would like to answer. So somebody asked about, I have a marketing background, and if I want to get into Salesforce, what is the way forward? So for anybody who has a marketing background, Salesforce has two specific clouds that you can target. One of them, a more simpler version, is Pardot, which is just a single. So you can start from there. It's very easy. It's compared to Marketing Cloud, is kind of easier, but it does the same thing. It can have emails. You can, an organization can do B2B, B2C sometimes as well using Pardot, and you can have your email campaigns. You can have some other sort of very innovative things that can feed directly from Salesforce Sales Cloud or Service Cloud. And then you can do a lot of automation on the email campaigns and a lot of good stuff. So Pardot can be an easy segue into Salesforce if you have a good background into marketing. And once you get into Salesforce doing Pardot, then from that point onwards, you can start looking into the actual marketing cloud. The reason why I would say the Pardot is a good way, so the marketing cloud is a little bit more heavy lifting, because they have about 8 to 10 different tools within that. So email is one, SMS is another one. Then, they have like Journey Builder, this and that. So it's like a very detailed oriented thing, and it takes a little bit of time to understand it, but you can always start with marketing as well if you have background. But in case if you want to get into the more detail of it, you may need a little bit of learning, like a coding background, because it has like HTML, it used some JavaScript, it used their own language as well, AMP script. So if you really want to be successful, you may need to have a little bit of coding background. You can even learn it at this point, to be very honest. If you really learn now, it won't take more than a couple of months to learn even the programming, because again, in Marketing Cloud, is not like you are doing very heavy programming all day long. It could be just a 20% to 25% of your work. 75% is still understanding, which you already know, marketing and campaigns, things of that sort. So you just need to have like a small portion. Same in Salesforce. Salesforce developer, not all the time just keep doing coding all day long. They have a lot of configurations, they do integrations. And then, yes, when they need to build something from the scratch or custom, yes, they use coding. But again, it's not heavy lifting. Like if you're become a Java developer, then 9 to 5, you're doing coding. In Salesforce, is not as heavy depending upon who you end up working with. But there are a lot of developers who only do like 40%, 30% of coding, and they still use a lot of out-of-box features. They do a lot of integrations. They do a lot of designing and a lot of good stuff. So marketing, sales, this Pardot and Marketing Cloud together will be a really good area that you can target. All right, let me see any other interesting questions. Another good question from someone, maybe he's outside the US. He mentioned that we talked about a lot of resources in US, but I'm not in US. Are you also looking for the resources? Of course, yes, except for example, the government-based projects where you need to have local folks that can work, but pretty much most of the enterprise level projects does not bound any resources where they are from, as long as they can work, right? So if you're sitting in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Philippines, wherever you are from, and if you're working on enterprise level, nonprofit, small business, all of these are pretty much the same as Salesforce. So you can imagine most of the big platinum partners, gold partners, most of their offices are offshore, right? They only have like a subset of consultants onshore, and their more heavy lifting is done offshore. Same concept is in MuleSoft. You will see a lot of positions even offshore, But the good part is because there are not a lot of people in there, you may end up working directly with the consulting firms like Unboxx. Either you are onshore or offshore, and then obviously your rates will be higher than comparatively other technologies, because if I put a post for Salesforce, there might be more people applying because there are more people with certification, with experience. If I put the similar post for Mule, I may only get a handful of the people, even with the experience level and everything. So they are more in demand because there are very few people in that particular core area. So it is just kind of an edge position right now that Salesforce had a couple of years back. So if you started Salesforce like 5 years back, or maybe even before that, then you have very limited supply, and those people were very, very high in demand. Even right now, architects are really high in demand because there are not a lot of architects available, especially Salesforce keep innovating. So it's not just Salesforce is there 10 years old, they have only sales service cloud, which were really 20 years old. A lot of their clouds are very new. So how can you have a cloud which just spin off like 2 years back, somebody with like 10 years of experience, right? So it's about, if you have 2 years of experience in that cloud, you are pretty much, you have 100% experience.
And Khurram, if I can add to that,
Of course.
we're talking about the Salesforce core areas, MuleSoft. Khurram had touched about Slack. That's in the process of kind of integrating with us too within our Ohana of Salesforce, which is family in the Hawaiian language. The whole integration that's taking place between Slack and Salesforce, guess who's behind that process? Obviously, the integration gurus right here, right on MuleSoft side. And then talk about RPA. So the RPA is becoming huge in the market. You guys may have heard that recently we made the announcement of purchasing Service Trace, which is one of the leaders in RPA. That actually is going to be sitting with our MuleSoft team. So if anything, in the very near future, you guys will hear more about it, where MuleSoft will be a very strong platform offering between integration and RPA paths, right? So UiPath would be our competitor in RPA. I just saw that note on there. But coming into Salesforce, we go out and work with best of the breeds and building out our true formula of successful solutions to help kind of solve the problems for our customer, right, from end-to-end goals. So excited to see even more opportunities open up to work with everyone.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Subia. So I know we are almost close to our closing time. So just as a next steps, so what I would recommend is I will send out an email back to everybody who was on that email chain. And I'll send out another form where you can sign up either for MuleSoft or Salesforce. And then I may have a couple of questions. I already have your email and stuff, but I may ask you a couple of more questions just to see where do you fit in terms of, as I mentioned in the starting of the, are you learner, are you professional, are you expert? So we can think about different programs that you can run. I will run this sessions every 2 weeks. And again, as I said, we will dedicate each of the session. Maybe we can do 50-50 based on how many people actually signed up. So we can do an hour of Salesforce, an hour of MuleSoft. I will invite one of the Salesforce architect. I will also invite one of the MuleSoft architect for getting more into technical stuff. So this was again more of a high level introduction to kind of pick up people who are interested in one or the other. Also, if you know other people who might be get benefited, make sure to let them know to sign up on that Google Sheet, because that's the only source of truth right now. In future, you can also forward the new sign up forms, and that can help as well. But moving forward, once I have all that information, because again, a lot of people signed up, but let's say 20%, 30% showed up. So between those, again, there will be a further drop of how many people are really want to invest their time. So based upon those core people, we'll pick them up. They will, as I said, they will get through their self-paced trainings, and as soon as they are ready, then we can start holding their hands and taking it to the next step. So that's basically a little bit of next step. So just wait out for my email. I may wait tonight and then maybe send out the email by tomorrow, just to make sure if other people want to sign up. So I have all the emails. I'll send out my presentation also along with that, another presentation by Subia, and also I will add another Google form where you can actually re-sign up for one or the other program that would be either Salesforce or MuleSoft. And then I'm hoping that it will be more filtered down to very specific folks. And then we can even have like individual conversations, build a Slack channel, and have these ongoing sessions in future. So with that, Subia, any last thing you want to mention before we close the session?
No, really, again, really appreciate the opportunity to present to everyone here. So I really want to thank Khurram. He's initiated an awesome program. That's exactly what companies like Salesforce need, our partners, to help enable the community. You guys definitely have to jump the gun and take advantage of this program with Khurram. He's got so much incentive to order and offer to you guys, as well as guidance throughout this process, right? Because you can easily get lost into the ecosystem. But looking forward to working with all of you guys in the near future. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And thanks, Sana, for joining. Thanks, Manisha. She was also in the background helping me out with a couple of questions. So thanks everybody for joining. And just watch out for the follow-up email. I'll definitely very excited to work with all of you, and enjoy rest of the day or night. And then we'll see you guys later. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.